Hello everyone and welcome to a game, or rather an incident, or rather an event you guys wanted me to cover. It is the Clash of Claims match between Jose Martinez Alcantara, Mexican Grandmaster, versus former world champion Vladimir Kramnik, who reigned as world classical champion from the year 2000 to 2007. Now, I wasn't really invested in all of this, and I didn't really know what was going on, so I had to go pretty far back to research why this is even happening. But seemingly, of course, everyone knows Kramnik is now the self-proclaimed advocate for fair play in chess, and that he is spotting cheaters left and right. He says, if someone is playing well above their level, obviously they are cheating, and he has some sort of an algorithm to figure this out, it would seem, and he's fairly adamant about it. And he did accuse Jose Martinez of cheating. Well, he didn't accuse him directly. He just said that the data doesn't lie. Do with it what you will. And once he was paired against Jose Martinez in a Title Tuesday match, or rather in a game in a Title Tuesday tournament, and he, after two moves were played, he just resigned the game. He didn't want to play against him, insinuating that he was indeed a cheater. So after that, the two of them agreed to a match. Of course, Jose Martinez wanted to prove that he was not cheating in any way, and then they decided to play a 36-game match, 18 games being played over the board, 18 games being played online, but in a joint venue, and with a time format of 3 + 2 seconds. So first, I think it was discussed between 3 + 1 and 3 + 2, because it would make sense for them to play 3 + 1, as that's the time format of Title Tuesday, but then they agreed that it was going to be 3 + 2, which of course favors Kramnik as the older player. But I thought that was pretty weird. If you want to prove that he was playing well above his station in online chess, or even in over the board, then you should use the time format where you were impressed by his results. But okay. Jose Martinez agreed, and a match took place over the last 3 days. It ended yesterday on this venue here in the Gran Via Casino in Madrid, and the event was called Clash of Claims, and it was played on chess.com. So if you guys really want to invest yourself in this, and if you're not following, do watch the first link in the description below. It will be Vladimir Kramnik that says what happened after the first day of the match, because he was not happy with chess.com's interface. He said that his clock was lagging, that sometimes he would play a few moves instantly, and he should be getting 2 seconds increment, then he should be having more time, but he was constantly down to 5 or 4 seconds. And then when he presented screenshots, if you follow Vladimir Kramnik on Twitter, he would show the exact time frame from his own stream, and from the official stream, and from Jose Martinez's stream, and the times on the clock were different. On Vladimir's monitor, it would say that he had like 5 or 6 seconds, when in fact he had 20 seconds on the clock, which he attributed to a lot of his losses in the match. He said that if he knew he had 20 seconds, of course he would easily win. He thought he had 5, and then he would just have to play a move, not just lose on time. But okay, if you guys really want to get invested in this, all in all, Kramnik won the over the board session by a very small margin, and Jose Martinez Alcantara won the online bout clash, and by a tiny larger margin. So Jose Martinez Alcantara won the match. He's the winner of the Clash of Claims, but Kramnik, of course, does not see it that way. So I don't know what will happen with this. Will there be another match? Will they figure out something? Kramnik is still writing actively on Twitter, even as I'm recording this video, so new posts are arriving, at any minute. Maybe even we have a few now. I can show you one, like for example, this is one that he wrote not so long ago. Let's see, is this okay? So he's saying that okay, short summary of what happened on my channel later tonight. Hard to believe the platform can't manage after promising the problems at day one will not be repeated. In was all way long again today. Sorry, what? The problems at day one will not be repeated in was all way long again today, ending what a coincidence. Complete disorder when I had a completely winning position. So he said that, okay, he said that he will not be continuing the match on chess.com because the platform isn't all that impressive. And okay, we all know Lichess is by far the superior platform, and chess.com does have, its issues. Yeah, it seems that for such an event, especially for such fast time formats, it's even more relevant. It says the timer of the game recorded by arbiters today of each game showing huge difference compared to chess.com clock. Recorded lag was awful and ended in the same fashion like the first two games. For some reason, again, on my computer, only complete collapse of the clock. If someone can explain me logically how it can happen twice that on my computer only, and Jose having all the same settings again has no problems whatsoever. Strange selective glitches. So yeah, of course, Kramnik does not see this as a true match and that he was defeated in a match. He says that it was it was a faulty software. Otherwise, of course, he would have won. And while no one is doubting that if two of them play a 12-game classical match, of course, Vladimir would win. But I think, okay, Vladimir could be onto something here regarding some or even most of the players online, because there is cheating. There is quite a lot of cheating in online games. But also, I don't think he fully realizes the strength of younger players today in speed chess. Like, of course, I don't know. Well, who's a good example? Like Andrew Tang, maybe, or Daniel Naroditsky. Neither of them could beat Kramnik in a 12-game classical match. But if they played a bullet or a hyper bullet match, they would both of them would leave Kramnik on 0 points. Like it could be a 50-game match, it would be 50-0 for Andrew or for Daniel. Doesn't really matter. But you can increase that to maybe 2 minutes to 3 minutes, 3 plus 1. It's like Levon said, my generation lacks mouse skills, or could be anything. But yeah, he's definitely onto something, Vladimir. And there's like I said, there's a lot of cheating in chess, but it's not not everyone who has a good result, or maybe even a couple of great results over the course of time is a cheater. Imagine if Kramnik applied his algorithm to Magnus Carlsen when Magnus Carlsen was emerging. He would say, okay, this is obviously a cheater. No one can have such results at such a low rating. So while it can be used, that sometimes I don't think it's useful to be used at all. Maybe if you've already had some suspicions and there were other insinuations, then maybe you can use that algorithm that he's using. I have no idea what he's using. He obviously has something, maybe something that even he constructed himself. But yeah, okay. So let's head to the game. Like I said, if you guys want to check it out, watch Kramnik's video, will be the first link in the description below. Also, you can follow him on Twitter, where I believe more will be said. But yeah, we're still waiting for. I don't think Jose Martinez mentioned anything regarding the match after he has won it. So if he will, maybe there will be more. I will revisit the entire story. So let's check it out. This is one of the blitz games that was played online. Jose Martinez with the white pieces opens with pawn to e4. We have pawn to e6, d4, d5, knight to d2, and pawn to c5. Now, I could have chosen any other game. I've chosen this one for a very, very particular two reasons actually. One, because Jose Martinez won the match, so obviously I've chosen the game where he won. And the other one, more important, is that I will only tell you at the end of the video. So okay, e captures on d5, we have queen captures on d5, and knight g to f3. This is the Tarrasch defense, the Tarrasch variation of the French, the so-called Chistyakov defense. We have c captures on d4, bishop to c4, attacking the queen, queen to d6, and now knight to e4. Attacks the queen, queen b4 check. Seems like you've blundered the bishop here, but just knight f to d2. And now there is a game where knight to f6 was played, also knight to d7 is a known move, but here we have knight to c6, and it is now as of move 8 that we have a completely new game. So okay, pawn to c3, challenging the queen. We have captures, and queen to a5. We have rook to b1 now. hindering the development of the light square bishop, bishop to e7, and castles kingside. We have queen to c7, and queen to g4, putting pressure on g7. And while it would be, and yes, you're probably weirded out by Kramnik playing the French defense. Obviously, you guys were expecting the Berlin every game. But yeah, a French player, I'm guessing Nepo plays king f8 here any day of the year, but Kramnik goes for pawn to f5. He attacks the queen and invites queen captures on g7. So okay, queen captures on g7, and now queen to e5. You can see that Jose Martinez is always better on time. He's 2 minutes 22 seconds, but Kramnik not far behind 2 minutes. And like I said, there is a 2 seconds increment. We have queen captures on e5, knight captures, and now knight to g3. We have knight to f6, and now rook to e1, putting pressure on the knight. Knight captures on c4, knight captures, and knight to d5. We have bishop to d2, defending on c3, and castles kingside. So this is the position, equal material. Time on the clock, Jose Martinez, 30 seconds up on the clock. We have knight to e5, rook to d8, and now knight to e2. We have knight to b4, trying to give up the knight for the bishop on d2. C captures on b4. We have rook captures on d2, and now pawn to a4. We have bishop to f6, attacking the knight, knight to f4, and now rook to d4, attacks the knight here. So pawn to g3, defending, and pawn to a5, challenging the pawn structure on the queen side. B captures on a5, rook captures, now putting pressure on the a4 pawn, and knight to f3, attacks the rook, and now rook to d6. Rook captures on a4 also can be played. It's interesting that Kramnik goes for rook to d6. But okay, we have rook e to c1, putting pressure on the bishop on c8, and bishop to d7. We have rook captures on b7, and rook captures on a4. We have rook c to c7, doubling up on the 7th rank. Rook to a1 with check. King g2, and rook 8 to d1. Getting both of the rooks on the back, rook 8 to d1, doubling up on the d file, and now knight to h5, putting pressure on the bishop here. And you can see now the time on the clock is Kramnik is even better on time. He has 18 seconds on the clock, Jose Martinez 9 seconds on the clock. Perhaps this is one of the games where Vladimir also said that his clock was malfunctioning, or rather the interface was malfunctioning, because they were playing in the same venue. He says that he has a new computer, so everything should be fully operational. Of course, they use the same network. So yeah, maybe also could be one of the games that he was talking about. And also, yeah, when you have such a face-to-face content, you shouldn't be playing via internet. Obviously, you should connect the computers directly, but I don't think chess.com has a support for that. Okay, bishop to d8. Here you have to either defend the bishop with the king or move the bishop all the way to a1. Here bishop to e8 was played, and now Jose Martinez's position is completely winning, but it's not easy to see why. Feel free to pause the video and figure it out while I give you a couple of seconds. I'll give you 9 seconds because that's how many Jose Martinez had in this position. So have at it. And I realized there's a C on the robot. Sorry about that. This is actually a blitz game. There we go. So you get a few extra seconds till I fix this. But yeah, congratulations on figuring it out. It's either checkmate or severe material loss. Rook to b8. And okay, it's probably the first move you thought of, but you maybe didn't know why. The idea is that you have to defend the bishop. So let's say you move the bishop. What's the problem? The problem is knight g5. The bishop cannot move, and next rook to g7, followed by any checkmate, really. Even rook to d7, you can just trade. Rook captures on d8, rook captures, you free up the 7th rank, and now knight to f6 check. If you go to h8, then rook captures on h7 is checkmate, and if you go to f8, then knight captures on e6 is checkmate. So that's the idea. So even with 10 seconds on the clock, Kramnik spots this. He plays bishop to c6 instead, and he just gives up a piece. Rook captures on d8. We have rook captures on d8, rook captures on c6, and now rook 1 to d6. He wants to trade rooks, so he plays a rook against 2 knights, but still white's position is winning regardless of what he plays. Rook rook to c2, we have king to h8, and now knight to f4. We have rook to e8, knight to e5, and now king to g8. We have pawn to h4, and rook to e7. Rook to e2, and now rook to a6. So, okay, this is now both players just moving pieces on increment. Being up material isn't all that important here. It really matters to play fast. We have knight to f3, king to g7, now comes knight back to e5, and king to f6, and believe it or not, with this king to f6 move, Kramnik blundered a mate in 1. His position is still lost regardless of what he plays, but king to f6 blunders a mate in 1, knight to h5, checkmate was played, and that is it. And that is the second reason why I've chosen this game, as it reminded me of that one time that Kramnik blundered mate in 1 against the computer Fritz, which was, very, very funny moment. If you haven't seen that, it will be the second link in the description below. So also, a fine game for you to check out. So yeah, what is your take on this? I've read a lot of comments, on the different news outlets and different channels and different portals, but I'm very much interested in your opinion, and especially if you have something maybe to add that I haven't added, I will. If you have something really important that I've missed, please share it in the comments. I will also pin it, give it a little heart, and everyone else will increase their vast knowledge as well. But yeah, that's it for the Clash of Claims match. Jose Martinez Alcantara wins, and we'll see what happens next. Like I said, Kramnik is still writing actively on Twitter. We'll see what happens if Jose Martinez mentions something. Maybe I'll revisit it. Probably not, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Very nice mate in 1 against former world champion Vladimir Kramnik. I would like to thank Michael Bowers, Eric Lee, Timothy Larkin, Ding Power, and William Cooper for a contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.